Hi everyone, let's talk about the MSC Virtuosa. You have to excuse the walkthrough video. The sea was a little bit rough, so the camera's a little bit jerky, but I'll sped it up a little bit so it doesn't take that long. And then we'll go through the good points and the bad points at the end of the video.
going down. Deck 9.
So thanks for watching the walkthrough. So here are the good points of what we thought were good things about MSC. Now, we've never been on MSC before. We've always travelled on Royal Caribbean, and as you know, they're always pretty good. Probably the best out there, to be honest. But the MSC Virtuosa is a lovely, lovely ship. We were a bit concerned from watching previous reviews of MSC about the food, but when we got on there, we were quite pleasantly surprised. It was quite good. Yeah, the buffet was really good. The pizzas were really good. The main dining area was okay. We had I think we spent 2 or 3 nights in there. I think the first night we went in there wasn't that great. The portion sizes were quite small. But then we decided to go back again, and we had the surf and the turf, which was a steak and a lobster tail, and that was really, really good. But the buffet was fine. You know, breakfast, all good. Normal English breakfast and anything you want, really. It's a really nice ship, brand new. The Galleria with the LED dome was outstanding, and we haven't seen that before, and that was really good. And they showed, they changed it quite a lot, and it had different ceilings, and then I think about 4 or 5 times a day they put like a little show on for the kids, and all the kids would lay down on their backs on the floor, and it'd be something like dinosaurs or like Harry Potter type thing. And it had a little story for a few minutes, so it was quite good. So let's get on to the things that MSC don't do so well. We found that the entertainment was pretty woeful, if I'm being honest with you. It was kind of the same thing every day in the bars. You'd have a group playing in the main bar downstairs, and it was the same group every day. I don't know whether that's because of COVID or what, but by the end of the week you could kind of predict what the next song was going to be. So it was pretty much the same all the time. And that was in the pub as well. So you've got a pub upstairs. Excuse me. And there was a fellow with a guitar in there. He's very good, but again, you know, they didn't mix it up a little bit. They could have mixed it up and had something different in there, but you know, he was playing the same songs over and over again, and that's okay. But you know, you get bored of it after a while. So the shows, the theatre shows. Now, I think it was the second night we went to see a show called Abracadabra. It was on for 35 minutes, and it was a free show. It was in the theatre, and it was rubbish, if I'm being honest with you. It was kind of a mishmash of ballet, pantomime, like magic tricks that you saw on the Paul Daniels show in the 80s, which you knew what was coming. And we walked out 10 minutes from the end, because from start to finish, I didn't have a clue what was going on. It was pretty rubbish. Yeah, they were dressed nice and they tried their best, but garbage. The rest of the shows, there was another free show which we didn't go and see, but there was 2 other shows which I'm not sure what they were, but they wanted to charge you £25 each for that, and which you got a free cocktail, but if you've got the drinks package, you get the drink anyway. So it was kind of a bit of it put us off a little bit, so we didn't go and see that. So that was that. The Starship Lounge, where you've got the robot serving the drinks. That's a nice place to go and sit, but it's very expensive and it's not included on your drinks package. So I think the cocktails were about £18 each, I think, something like that. And there was a few people complaining that the robot wasn't serving the right drinks and they weren't getting what they asked for. So I think that needs to be tweaked a little bit. And I know that's free on, I know they've got the same sort of thing on Anthem of the Seas on Royal Caribbean. And I think it's free on there. Or it's included in your drinks package anyway. But yeah, it seems quite a lot of money for what you got. It was quite amusing to watch him make the cocktails, but you know, you get bored of that after a while, don't you? The other thing we didn't like is we were cruising around the UK, and the weather wasn't that great, and the ship kind of shut down during the day. The bars shut down, and now that's okay if you're. I think the bars upstairs by the pool were open, but there's not many people around the pool because the weather was pretty dire. So, and the rest of the ship kind of shut down during the day, and it was a bit weird because you couldn't get a drink unless you went up on the top deck. That's what we found anyway. So yeah, that was a bit strange, and that's all well and good. If the weather's fine and everyone's up on the top deck, they can get a drink. But you know, for people who are staying inside the ship, it is quite difficult to find anything to do, which is a bit rubbish. With the rooms, they seemed a nice room, not the biggest we've had. We had a balcony room. Be prepared to have your room changed. We had our room changed, I think it was 4 times by the time we actually got on the ship. This was due to, I think they were only running at half capacity, so they wanted everybody compressed onto just a few onto a few levels, I think. So we had our change 4 times, and then 2 days before we boarded, we got a letter to say that our room was changing again. And yeah, so we didn't get the room we originally booked, but it was okay. The bathroom, I will say, the bathroom was very small. You couldn't get 2 people in there at a time, unless one was in the shower, and then, you know, the other one would be using the mirror. But yeah, it was very small. The layout's not great. We had a 3-bed room, so the sofa turned into a bed, and usually on Royal Caribbean they make that up during the they put it back to a sofa during the day, and then they make it up in the evening to a bed. But the first day the bed was made up, we had the sofa for a couple of hours, and then for the rest of the holiday, which was 7 days, it was a bed. And they didn't bother taking it up and down. The wardrobe seemed a bit awkward to get to if you've got the 3rd bed in there, and there's not much room in the wardrobe. It was a bit of an awkward place to put it, I think. They could have thought it out a little bit better, but there's plenty of storage space. You know, we had enough storage space for 3 of us. It was just a little bit awkward where things were. So COVID boarding, we took 2 hours to get onto the ship, whereas usually before pre-COVID, you could get on the ship within 15 minutes. I only live up the road. I live in Southampton, so we only live up the road from the cruise terminal. It takes us about 10 minutes to get there, and within half an hour we could usually be on the ship. But our boarding time was 11 a.m. and I think we actually got on the ship about 10 past 1. So be prepared to queue up for a couple of hours. They do supply you water in the queue, bottles of water or sparkling or just still water. But it's a long process at the moment. We queued, and it wound around, and then you've got to show your paperwork, and then you have to go for your COVID test, and then you've got to wait in a waiting area. Then you have to show your paperwork again, and all in all, it took just over 2 hours. So that was a bit of a bind. So overall, we were okay. I'm not sure whether we would travel MSC again. The food was nice. What they do well with the food is the pizzas, the bread, your cakes. They're all really nice. The other stuff, the other food is pretty run-of-the-mill, what you get on most cruise ships. I don't think we'll travel again on MSC because it was quite boring, if I'm being honest with you. And they seem to want to charge for a lot of stuff. The Formula One thing, they got Formula One virtual racing cars. I think they were about 25 quid each, and it was only for a few minutes, which seemed quite extreme price-wise. The bowling alley on there, which they charged for, which could have been free. They're charging £25 to go in a theatre for shows I've never heard of. I wouldn't mind it so much if it was like a West End show. But yeah, it was a bit of a bind with that, really. We couldn't get off unless you went on their organised trips. So we went to Liverpool, Greenock and Belfast. The first port, which was Portland, which is just down the road from us, really. We couldn't get off because it was too stormy. we got off at Liverpool for a 3-hour walking tour, and that worked out about £120 for 3 of us. So it was 2 adults and 1 child, and it was okay. MSC act a little bit like a bus. So we left Southampton, we went to Portland, but we couldn't dock, so they carried on to Liverpool. People got off at Liverpool, and then new passengers got on at Liverpool, and the same happened at Greenock. So it's a bit of like a bus stop, really. We got off at Liverpool to do the walking tour, and we got caught up with all the excuse me, with all the people boarding the ship, which seemed a bit strange because we were on trips. So we thought that you'd probably go into a different entrance, but we had to go through all the process and queuing up with a few hundred people to get back on the ship, which was a bit weird. And that got kind of held us up a little bit for the day. We also found that getting a drink was quite difficult. We had a drinks package which was included. I think you could get a drink up to £10 or €10. Anything over that you have to pay extra. But it covered pretty much everything. You can get cocktails and you can get beers, bottled beers and draft beers and stuff. But just getting a drink is quite difficult. The bars, when they were open, were quite packed. You had a few people walking around with the iPads in their hands, taking drink orders, but it was a bit hit and miss whether you got a drink. So and you know, they're not the happiest people in the world, and they come around asking for your drinks, but asking what you want to drink. But it was a bit hit and miss whether the drink turned up. A couple of times the drink didn't even turn up, or you couldn't get the attention of the person with the iPad. So a lot of the time we were sat there without a drink in our hand, you know, even a soft drink, which was a bit crap. So to sum it up, it's a lovely ship. They could do better with it. They're not in the class of Royal Caribbean. The friendliness of the staff, they were okay. There was a few that were a little bit miserable. You could probably put that down to being overworked in COVID, I suppose. We also found that they didn't really enforce the masks on the ship, and I would probably say 60 to 70% of the people walking around on the ship didn't have masks on. We were told we would have to have temperature checks every time we entered one of the dining areas, but that only happened probably about 3, maybe 4 times, and most of the time there wasn't anybody enforcing the hand washing, which I was quite surprised. There's the main entrance to the buffet. There was someone there occasionally telling you to wash your hands. We wash our hands anyway, just as a matter of course. But there are 3 entrances to the buffet, and 2 of the entrances were like a side entrance, and there was no one there enforcing anything, which I was quite surprised about. But you know, most of the time people walk about no masks on. You know, that suited us because I didn't want to wear a mask anyway. But so thanks for watching. I know that the video was a little bit jerky. Hopefully, if you like and subscribe, I'll be able to get some more content on. We've got a few more cruises lined up. So hopefully you come back and watch us. Thanks for watching.